There have been a number of military thrillers over the years depicting both real and fictional war zones, all whilst bringing in high-octane action and an eclectic group of characters at the helm. Counterattack is the latest Netflix original movie, intending to channel the same energy seen in flicks like Saving Private Ryan and Lone Survivor. Oh, and this definitely isn't based on the Counter-Strike games, given the title is listed in some regions and also on IMDb as Counter-Strike. For the most part, it does a pretty good job with the limited resources available, boasting solid action and decent characters that are easy to rally behind. However, the story is wafer thin at best, with a political subplot that feels very half-baked and some plot threads left unresolved when the final credits roll. Still, given what this film stuffs into its 75-minute run, when you exclude the 10 minutes of credits of course, it's definitely not a bad way to kill a couple of hours. The story here centres on an elite military team operating in Mexico. Captain Guerrero is revered and respected amongst his peers, and he's well known for leading dangerous and high-stakes missions. The latest involves taking out a high-level target by the name of Josefo Urias. However, Josefo and his loose cannon brother Roman have serious beef with Guerrero though, given he killed their father. When Guerrero and his team are tasked with apprehending a man within Josefo's operation, before moving into grabbing Josefo himself, the stakes are set for a crazy, suspenseful rollercoaster to ensue. Unfortunately, Josefo is a smart guy and he strikes a deal with the secretary to screw over Guerrero and his team. After an ambush on the road, Guerrero and his team are forced to make their way to a checkpoint 6 hours away, on foot in hostile territory, all whilst being hunted by the enemy. It's a simple enough setup, and Counterattack certainly doesn't waste any time getting right into the heart of the drama. The film smartly adds in action almost immediately before cycling back in time, where we meet Guerrero and his men, along with seeing the events leading up to this ambush. The group have some pretty basic introductions, but the main men in the team do get a chance to shine. As one would expect from a group of males like this, there's a good deal of banter and camaraderie across the runtime. One of the guys, Pollo, has an on-running joke about his trainers being ruined because of the terrain. Meanwhile, Guerrero is your typical action hero, refusing to stand by or turn the other cheek in the face of injustice. However, given how one-dimensional a lot of the characters are, there's not too much of an emotional arc when these guys face death or potentially pass away. Sure, there are tense sequences nestled in the midst of this, but it would have been nice to have a bit more time with the men, allowing their characters to be fleshed out more than they actually are. Furthermore, the movie plays hard and fast with its own military rules. Cover is used regularly and the men shout instructions to one another, which is great and obviously what you'd expect from an elite team, but then there are times where they're just out in the open firing on enemies who are still in cover, without bothering to dodge bullets. It does take you out of the movie at times, which is a shame because the action is easily the best part of this one. I will say that the end fight is a particularly bad culprit of this, with the group forced to try and defend a position. Sure, it's incredibly tense, but this is also where some of the issues with logic come into play. There appears to be some sloppy editing here too, because the way this conflict is resolved feels like it's missing several sequences to explain what's happened. Josefo, for example, goes from having a whole army of goons by his side to one guy and then nobody. However, all things considered, Counterattack is a spicy Mexican surprise. It's not likely to be a movie that stands the test of time, but it's still a rip-roaring good time, despite its flaws. Thanks for watching, and do let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Smash a like or subscribe to the channel, your support is very much appreciated. I'm Greg Wheeler, and from all of us over here at The Review Geek, we'll see you on the next video.